Good morning everyone and welcome back to another Monday video on Octane Thermoplastic. Today we're back on Mocked, but we're not doing the logo yet because I haven't finished it and I need more time, and so we're using this horrible half-started logo. But today's project is already done. It's a project I started working on back in March, around the time when we started to see things about the Star Wars busts. And I went, hey, that isn't fair. There's plenty more things which need helmets that look good. So I started a small project, and I was originally going to do 3, and we ended up with 1. And I thought I'd show you the pictures from when I had this built now. So I was pretty proud of this one, and this is my mock helmet of Witch King of Angmar from Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is a license I'd definitely love to see back, and if not, only for this minifigure that we never got. The Witch King appeared on the Battle of Pelennor Fields and heavily throughout Return of the King Extended Edition, and I would have loved his figure. I played as him all the time when I completed Lego Lord of the Rings, the video game, on 100%, and I thought it only fitting that his helmet get the treatment, especially considering Orthanc, the tower set, is all black and has a lot of curves which could help with this project. So as you can see here, it's in scale with some figures. Let's show you some more proper pictures. So here it is from the front and the back, and you can see there's a bit of a stand there. And one thing the more knowledgeable Lord of the Rings fans out there will notice is my colour scheme is inverted. And that is simply because I don't have the right kind of dark grey pieces to do it. Also, I think the helmet looks better in black. I'm pretty sure it's been black in some material, but the helmet should be dark bluish grey, and the cloth bit underneath, which is the grey in this model, should be the black, but we inverted it. So we got a semi-simple stand there, so it could stand up just like the Star Wars helmets. And you can see some basic shaping of this helmet is really hard to do, as well as some stud spherical work towards the back and side. It's basic, it isn't really looking good, but it's just supposed to be a cloth. So here you can kind of see some more of the techniques I use. So particularly on the image on the left, you can see that the angles I built at were awful. In fact, the lower eye bridge, which our circle now, is built entirely upside down and clipped on at the corner of the mouth. The mandibles, as I'm going to call them, are attached to some large Technic ball joints used in Ninjago dragons and things, to just behind this weird facade of grey that I have in there. Then I used some hinges, which you can see clearly, and then built upwards and anti-upwards either sides of the eyes, and that was really hard to merge, which is why there are those wedge slopes there. You can then see the beginnings of like the contouring for the top of the head, which on the right image you can see goes right down into this weird shape, because when we look at reference images in a minute, you'll see that the mask slopes down. The mask part does not coat around the entire thing, so really that strap on the back should be thicker. This is probably the best angle to show the curving of the hood piece that I did. And again, once again, you can see all the directions were built in. Particularly down this bottom right corner, you can see some sideways construction, some 45-degree construction that is both connected to the anti-studs on the bottom of those ball joints I mentioned earlier, as well as sticking some Technic pins into a the piece that's on the screen, and then sticking some tiles to, which you can see just above those. There's a couple of spikes, there's another 45-degree angle, some actual upright building, some hinges and different things, but it's all pretty hard to see, but any closer and you still wouldn't understand. You really had to be inside it to let it make any sense. And I suppose the last thing to talk about is the mandibles, which are long, which made the helmet a lot taller than I wanted. It's really heavy, and the large spire at the top was actually the easiest part of the design, basically just being 3 slopes converging in the middle. Now looking back in the last 6 months, I've definitely learnt a lot more techniques. Surprising how quickly I've learnt more. And there's probably a lot I do differently, but this was a nightmare to put together. It wasn't stable. It came from like 6 different sets. The mandibles just weren't that bit right towards the end. I had to redo them. Not to mention all the angles. Filling in gaps with this thing took forever. But I am actually really proud of the result, and I think it came out looking pretty good, if I do say so myself. So here's that imagery for you to compare between. I'm just going to flick forward and backwards a couple of times, so no one faint or anything. And that's what you can see about the colours, but there's definitely an agreement on the shaping. Looks fairly similar. There are definitely some things which would benefit on changing, but you can see I've got those little mandibles that point inwards, little ditch around the nose, although my middle nose spike is a bit more prominent. The point with its pointing its wedge-shaped nature coming towards the front. I definitely don't have as many spikes. I should have way more spikes. And you can also see a bit of the cloth there as well. Yeah, just a little mock expanding on the helmet series, showing how much potential that has. I've definitely got another helmet I want to do, but that one actually is a Star Wars helmet. But I think this came out really well. So everyone, let me know what you think in the comments, because yeah, I'd like to know if I'm the only one that likes this thing. And consider subscribing so you don't miss when I make my other helmet, as well as the other cool stuff I do on this channel.